Alright, so let's get started with what I got. So I got two of the Hourglass ambient lighting powders. I wear Ethereal pretty much every day that I powder my face. It is something that is definitely on the subtle side, but it gives me a nice kind of soft finish, and it doesn't actually add like color to my face because I don't always want a bronze look. So really like those. Ethereal was a repurchase, and I got Luminous Light. Luminous Light, they must be redoing the packaging because this is different than the Ethereal one, which has the packaging that my other Hourglass ones have. So Luminous Light is one of their ambient lighting powders, which are supposed to basically mimic a type of light. But Luminous Light is like this kind of beige. It's supposed to give a candlelit glow color. It's just kind of soft. I have it on my cheeks with another highlight. I really like this because it gives me an almost dewy look. It's definitely that kind of, when they say glow from within, which kind of sounds stupid, but that's kind of what I would say this gives you. However, it is a little bit dark on my skin tone, so I usually still wear it with some type of lighter highlight under it. I've been wearing it with MAC Emphasize or even sometimes Illamasqua Intrigue because you can see this slightly on my skin. So you can see, I don't know if you can even see that a little bit right there. It's really pretty, really subtle. Ethereal Light, this is the one that I am repurchasing. This is an off-white and it has a soft satin finish. This is my current one, so as you can see, I super hit pan. It's something I use basically every day. I really like these. They are kind of pricey because they are Hourglass. They last me. The one I just showed you, the one that's mostly empty, that's what I bought last year during the VIB sale. So it's lasted me about a year of pretty much everyday use, and in regards to that, I almost always wear it if I'm taking photos, and some days that could be up to 4 looks. So I'm saying it's kind of expensive for finishing powder, but if you like it, it does last a long time because you don't use it very much. So here's the brand new one. So you can see it's just an off-white color. It basically just, it's a very nice satiny finish. So I don't know if you can see how well you can see those two swatches, but they're very pretty. I really like them. Ethereal Light's going to basically sit in my ready-to-go drawer as soon as I finish the other one. And I just really like the Luminous Light one and have been using it as a highlight because I'm really bad at hauls because, yeah, I tend to get into them before I film my videos. Alright, so the next thing I got was Clarisonic heads. These are the delicate skin heads, and it's a double pack. My husband and I use the Clarisonic, and we use the same body, but we don't share the heads. So I always get the double pack because then we can both use them. So this is just a replacement. A lot of the things I was buying was actually replacements for things that I already own, just like the Ethereal Light. This is another replacement, Ethereal Light. This is my third purchase. These is like my 5th purchase. So these are supposed to be replaced every 3 months, as it says right there. We only use the delicate heads, which are, there's one called the Cashmere Luxe, which is now the most sensitive. Delicate is what we use because both of us have sensitive skin, and the sensitive head is not quite delicate enough, so we go for the delicate head. You're supposed to replace them every 3 months. However, you're also supposed to be able to use it twice a day. My skin does not do very well with manual exfoliation. My husband just isn't very good with keeping up with a routine and doesn't have time to be bothered to wash his face morning and night. So we don't replace ours. I kind of like judge it like a toothbrush when you can start to feel it. I replace ours probably every 4 months, sometimes every 5, just because I only use mine once a day, and like towards the winter, usually once every other day, and my husband only uses it once a day. So because we're not using it twice a day, I don't replace them every 3 months. The next thing I got was the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. I really like the Nars Light Reflecting Powder, but I like that on my face, and sometimes when I put it over my concealer, you can it darkens my concealer a little bit. but I don't like using my Ben Nye Cameo powder under my eyes quite as much because sometimes it's just a little too heavy for the under eye area, especially in the winter time when I deal with a lot more dryness in the under eye area. So this is just a silica based powder. It comes with a sifter and they're kind of wide. I kind of wish these were a little bit smaller because a lot comes out at once, like way too much. Like I sat there and like shook it so it would go back down. But it's just this transparent powder. Well, I guess it's white until you put it on your skin. Then it basically just blends into your skin. And it has a little bit of reflect. Like it's about like a skin finish. And you can see there's a little kind of light reflecting particles. I have tried this out for like the past week. Obviously this is not really a review, but this is something that it's a first time purchase for me. And I so far only like it under my eyes. It's not something I would set my entire face with. So I'm expecting this to last a long time. But it looks pretty nice. It definitely doesn't darken the under eye area. So far I'm quite impressed, but time will tell. Another thing that is a repurchase. This is the Tarte BB Tinted Treatment blah 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 primer BB cream. So this is one that does have an SPF in it, but it is a physical one, so that doesn't bother me. It's also very fair. That's the color I got, was fair, and it's very light. I'm not gonna, like, this is my backup, so I'm just gonna show you the one that's almost out. The color, that was almost a lot. So as you can see, it's very fair. It's a very sheer BB cream. So I would say this is definitely sheer, not light. But it's very pretty. It's very silicone-y. So if you don't like the feel of those like silicone primers, then you probably wouldn't like this. But it definitely mattifies the skin. It has a natural skin finish. I really like it as a BB cream or as a primer. On days that I want just a touch more coverage, I will use this as a primer, or days that I want just a very, very sheer amount, but I want it to stay on better than a lot of other BB creams that are sheer, but they're not mattifying enough for the summertime for me. This is a really good option. So I like this. I would probably not recommend this if you want more coverage, unless you're going to use it as a primer, but then it's like why I wouldn't spend this money to just use it as a primer unless you're wanting to add coverage. So it works really well, but I would probably recommend it if you don't have a lot of skin issues already. Because if I use it, then I just kind of put a little bit of concealer under my eyes or on my nose or on any blemishes. But my skin's normally pretty under control, so that's not an issue for me. If you're a little more acne prone and have some active breakouts, I would probably go for a BB cream that has a little more light, that's a little more buildable, because this one's only on its buildability. But at the same time, I really like it. If you have kind of more oily combination skin, it does last quite well on my skin. And another thing that I've repurchased, this is the Nars concealer. This is in the shade Chantilly. It's the same color I use. Nars packaging I always just make a mess of. I use the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is what I use on under my eyes, around my nose, and it's what I use on blemishes typically. If I am having a larger breakout and it's not just like, sometimes I just get little more like red marks than actually like bumps, and they're just kind of red. Like I have one somewhere around here, but you can't really see texture wise. It's just kind of red. So I just put a little bit of the Nars Radiant Creamy one and then it's enough. But if I'm having a rather bad breakout, or I have some bad hyperpigmentation, and also to clean up around my eyebrows or my lips if I need to, I prefer to use the stick concealer. My current one is like, this is all the way up, like it's basically gone. I really like it. Chantilly is basically the perfect color for my skin, so I really like this. It's quite creamy for a stick foundation, but it's definitely not as creamy as the Radiant one, but it does have quite a bit of emollient, so you're not going to get super cakey. These ones I would say only go to a medium coverage when the Radiant Creamy goes to a full. But this works better because it's that drier formula. It's going to work better on blemishes and on the actual skin. So I really like this. I'm going to swatch the one that's almost out. So as you can see, pretty close. Blends in nicely. skin finish. That's all I have to say about this. This is the Boscia Makeup Breakup Cleansing Oil. This is what I've been using a lot lately. I have not yet relocated to Washington where it's going to be not quite so dry, but I am currently in Utah where it's very dry, so I have a lot harder time dealing with my skin in the winter. So using a cleansing oil versus typical makeup cleanser works a lot better for my skin. It's also my like go-to even in the summer when my skin's less of a pain to do between videos, because sometimes I wear a makeup look for a video and then I go wash it off and I film another video and then I go wash it off and like my skin is not happy and I have pretty sensitive skin. So this is a really nice way that I can take off all my makeup and not have it irritate my skin. I really like this cleansing oil because it comes off pretty well with water. So I just go ahead, put a little bit in my skin, you apply it to dry skin, massage it all over your face, including your eyes. It takes off all your makeup and then you're good to go. So purchase that. It smells fine. Boscia doesn't use scents, so they're all kind of like herbal. But I don't find this one smells like super foul or anything. It's just kind of a minty, fresh scent because some of them don't smell very good. But this one's fine. And the last thing that I got was the Elizabeth James Nirvana. So I wanted kind of another fragrance. I own 2 fragrances, like full size, and then I have a lot of mini sizes, or I have things that have been given to me that I don't really wear as much. But I wear Chanel Coco Mademoiselle as my like signature fragrance, and then I also have Versace Bright Crystal Absolute. And so both of those, and I also have Versace Bright Crystal. So both of those I really like, but I wanted something that's kind of not necessarily as rich and kind of as sensual as Coco Mademoiselle, but something that's maybe not so bright and summery as the Bright Crystal. So I went with this, and I just got a roller ball. I may get a full size later on, but since the other 2 are kind of my go-to fragrances, I'm just going to stick with a roller ball for now. It's a very nice, it's a very kind of peony with a little bit of musk, and it's just a like lighter floral, very feminine scent. So I really like this. There's also Nirvana Black, which is a much more kind of that rich, sexy scent. It's a lot more woodsy. So a lot of people like to layer those. Personally, Nirvana Black does not smell very good on my skin, so I'm only going to stick with Nirvana White. But I really like this, and it smells really nice, and it lasts well on my skin. And that was all I got during the VIB sale. So mostly for me was repurchases, except for the perfume, the brightening powder, and the luminous light powder. But that's pretty much it. Let me know what you got during the VIB sale, if you got anything, and let me know that in the comments box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos from me, please subscribe. Also give it a like if you enjoyed this video, because that really helps me out. And I hope to see you guys again soon.